I'm already getting into this. But I'm going to cover it coming up a little bit later in the hour. But it's wrong. You know, if there was a big Russian lobby here in the United States manipulating our government, I'd be angry. If there was a Italian lobby manipulating our government, if there was a British lobby, which there is, it's just more well hidden, probably bigger than the Israeli lobby. You got the Israeli lobby, you got big defense, but the Israeli lobby and big defense basically have the same views, so it's like one group. It's all a combine. You've got the British lobby that's part of the same empire system, so it's all merged. I mean, really, you've got a lot of forces that are teamed up going in the same direction. And when you only focus in on one group, that doesn't mean that that group isn't guilty of doing things that are tyrannical. But when you only focus in on one and make a cult out of hating a group, you then become blind to all the other heads of the Hydra. And then people who associate themselves with that group, who were not involved in the corruption and tyranny, they will automatically be driven into the arms of the ideological extremists that are controlling it. So I'm going to be talking about that, but I need to shift gears for a moment and get back into all the other news. This is probably just the best way to go over it is just to start here. Well, let me just read the stacks. North Korea says war with South would go nuclear. Russia calls on South Korea to halt military drill. Reuters. Got another report here out of Japan where they're now saying their number one threat is not Russia anymore and the old Cold War strategy. It's the threat of China, and they believe China is trying to take over. The Chinese are freaking out and threatening Japan right now. And ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of like saying you think some of the Muslim nations on average hate America. They don't hate the West 1/10 as much as Sunnis and Shiites hate each other. This is more complex. Same thing. You think some Japanese don't like the fact that our country dropped A-bombs on them and that they lost a war? Japanese love us on average compared to the Chinese and vice versa. They literally hate each other. And the Koreans hate the Chinese and the North Koreans hate the Chinese, but they hate the South even more. I mean, this is just tribalism. It's like Hutus and Tutsis in Rwanda killing each other. Or it's like Christian blacks being killed by Muslim blacks in Sudan, or where the Christians have the upper hand in Nigeria slaughtering the Muslims. It's just an excuse for people to take over other folks' land and make them slaves. And the globalists know that. So it isn't about a German or an African or a Jew or somebody from China. It's about these systems of political manipulation. The whole world is hurtling towards financial implosion, and the globalists, the social planners, always start big wars as a unifying effect. I mean, can't you just see everything lining up right now, how everything is accelerating? We've got that news. Here's this news. It's the top story on the Drudge Report if you want to find it. We had it up this morning. I've asked Kurt to take it out of the technology section and put it as our top story on Infowars.com. But the easiest place to find it is Drudge. Headline, UN plans Internet regulations. Well, they've always headed up the Internet 2 meetings and the consortium meetings, and they've announced they're going to have a world tax on it and world ID numbers when you're on the Internet, and that they're going to track everything you do, and then they've got their own cybersecurity system. Who do you think set up the UN? Our government. The United Nations is considering whether to set up an intergovernmental working group to harmonize global efforts by policymakers to regulate the Internet. Establishment of such a group has the backing of several countries, spearheaded by Brazil, which, if you don't think Brazil's powerful, it's like number 4 or 5 in the global power structure now because it has a huge population and incredible resources. At a meeting in New York on Wednesday, representatives from Brazil called for an international body made up of government representatives that would attempt to create global standards for policing the Internet. You heard that, specifically in reaction to challenges from WikiLeaks. Now, they've got the Cybersecurity Act they're having trouble passing. They've got other legislation to lock you up in prison if you're in the media and cover any leak into the free speech and cherished. And I told you that's what this was. Some people don't want to hear it. Oh, WikiLeaks is wonderful. I'm not saying Assange isn't being set up. But see how it was scripted with ridiculous false charges? And people play right into it. That's why we're slaves. Okay? People need to listen to what I say. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? We'll be right back. Stay with us. We're going to break this down. It's a serious threat to all of our free speech.
In a coming-apart world, you need something to keep it tied together. That something is Atwood Rope, the highest quality rope made in the USA, from exotic braids for military, rescue, arborists, shipyards, tow line, or boating. Quality rope at affordable prices you and your customers can depend on. Find a dealer or shop online at atwoodrope.net. Enter promo code RADIO to receive 100 feet of 550 paracord free with purchase. Atwood Rope, working to keep the world tied together.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Pure water. What could be better than the gift of health for your loved ones? And who better to help you give the gift this holiday season than BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com? If those on your gift list are drinking or bathing in unfiltered city or well water, chances are that water is contaminated with rust, bacteria, chlorine, and fluoride. For just pennies a day, Berkey Water Filters remove dangerous contaminants from both well and city water, is powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, and is great for camping and emergencies. Right now, GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems and free shipping on orders over $50. Purchase any filter system from BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com to get your choice of Berkey Sport bottles, a KDF shower filter, a set of fluoride filters, or the new Sight Glass spigot, absolutely free. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY today. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Give the gift of health at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com today.
If you own a septic system, or if you're facing costly septic system replacement, this message is for you. When you want to stop paying for pump outs and avoid backups, when you've had enough of the foul odors and costly repairs, use BioSafe One Septic Solution. Now there's an easy-to-use, 100% guaranteed answer to all your septic system problems. BioSafe One Septic Solution. BioSafe One is patented and made specifically for all septic systems, and made by the same team of scientists who helped clean up the Exxon Valdez oil spill. BioSafe One decontaminates and removes sludge, stops costly pump outs and repairs, and removes septic system stench, all with a 100% success rate. See what gives BioSafe One Septic Solution the advantage over any other septic product at biosafeone.com. That's BIOSAFEONE.com. biosafeone.com, or call toll-free 1-866-424-6663. That's 1-866-424-6663. BioSafe One, the guaranteed bio-friendly, money-saving way to clean your septic system.
By the way, Aaron is going to pop in the last little 5-minute segment of this hour. He saw Brad Metzler's Decoded on the History Channel. I've been interviewed for an episode of it, and I'm not going to talk about it till it comes out because I agreed to not get into too much of it. But I tell you, Aaron saw it last night, and I just can't believe that one of the hosts of it, when they're investigating it, compares people to paranoid schizophrenics who think the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer. And then by the end, they go interview these mainline professors that go, it is Lucifer. It is the light bearer. That's basically what the French said, who gave it to us. But it's the good Lucifer. See, when you become a 32nd degree Mason, they come out and tell you Lucifer and Jesus are one. And that's just a fact. And that's what Albert Pike, their big supreme commander, his painting hangs in every Masonic lodge in the Western world. And I'm not even here bashing Masons, because most of them are porch Masons and don't know this. Or they read the Isaiah quote. And you've got Christ the morning star. Lucifer's called the morning star. And he's the light bearer. So they say that that's a secret code in the Bible. And that this is the big mystery that King David and Solomon knew. But see, we're kooks for saying it's Lucifer, but at the end of the show, oh, it is Lucifer. But they're still kooks. It's a loving Lucifer. Aaron saw it. He's going to be popping in. I mean, you can't make this kind of stuff up. They're pretty nice people on the show. And Aaron said it was overall fair because, you know, you've got 3 hosts on the show, so it runs the spectrum of what their views are. So I don't know what they're going to do in the episode I'm in. Let me just say it's dynamic. And I haven't talked to them in 2 months. I need to, since I was out in California and barely made it back, I'll just leave it at that. I need to call them and find out when my episode's coming out, because I want to be able to get them on the show and you know, get as much out to you as we can before it comes out. I mean, I'm just going to leave it at this. I escaped off into the woods and never saw them again. I mean, and you'll find out if they air this show what I'm talking about. But I mean, literally... I just, boom, and then called him and talked to him on the phone days later, and then that was it. I haven't talked to him since, but let's just say I'm the only person that escaped. All right, I'm not going to go any further. You can't make up how crazy my life is, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't make this stuff up. It's too insane. And then I'm so busy, you'd think I'd be checking up on these folks and finding out what's developed since then, and I haven't. So remind me, when I go off the air today, I got to get on the telephone to those people. But they say that a watched pot never boils. Well, I don't watch the pot, you know, the tea kettle. And so it's going off all the time. I just go out, engage in the missions, engage in the operations, and move on to the next. And that's the secret to why we've been so successful against the New World Order, is because we just move forward. We don't get distracted or diverted. So their first episode was the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer, but not Lucifer as alleged on Brad Metzler's Decoded. I don't know. We'll get Aaron's take on it. I haven't seen it yet. Aaron watched it last night. See, when I tell you we don't really have our TVs turned on, I mean, it probably takes us 10, 15 minutes to get a television working at my house. I do watch short clips on the internet, but that's pretty much it. Or maybe once a month I go to the theater and I watch a full-bore movie. And maybe once a year I go see the Nutcracker with the children, or go see a symphony or something a couple times a year. Or we'll go see, you know, acrobats when they come to town, or non-animal circus. It's not that I'm a big animal rights activist. I just, the smell of monkey and elephant dung and clowns dressed up like demons, and looking at the carnies, and looking at the totally depressed elephants swaying their heads back and forth. You can't pay me to go to a circus. My parents took me a few times when I was a child, and I wouldn't cry at anything. We could have a babysitter over that would show me a horror movie, and then they'd get in trouble or whatever, and I wouldn't be scared by it. But I would just cry and demand, when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, take me out of this circus. And I remember being like 10 and going with friends to the circus when their parents took me, and I just wanted out of there. I don't like the clowns. I don't like the elephants. You can see where they've been beating them with crowbars. Side issue. I like taking my kids when it comes to the type of circus where they got the guys in the motorcycles that drive around in the cage, and they got the acrobats and all that stuff. That's what I like. That's really cool. Okay, now I'm totally off the reservation here with things that don't matter. I'm going to finish up with this attack on free speech. Then I'm going to get into Christopher Hitchens' latest Nixon tape buries Kissinger reputation. I didn't know he had a reputation to bury. I mean, this guy's been an indicted war criminal in multiple countries. I mean, this guy's a little Stalinistic Hitler. We'll be right back.
We're on the march.